The internationally renowned Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater has two homes. Its headquarters are in New York City, and the other, it's right here in Kansas City.
That might seem surprising, but Alvin Ailey was a Texan, a man who loved jazz and barbecue, and was good friends with Todd Bolander, the artistic director of the Kansas City Ballet.
Mr. Ailey also believed that dance could help bring people together across racial divides and cultural barriers.
In 2013, the Friends of Alvin Ailey received a major grant that will help them spread the gospel of dance even further into the community.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm extremely proud of what Kansas City Friends of Alvin Ailey stands for. Art and dance in particular is one of those things that has to be passed down. You're always passing it on to the next generation. And so it's wonderful when an organization can have an opportunity to bring great art and then bring it to students that don't often have access to that art.
As you can see, a school visit by the Ailey Trio makes for an adrenaline-laced hour. And these three dancers don't come from the B team either. They're all members of the main Ailey troupe, which tours the world performing pieces like this. Odetta had its world premiere in Kansas City last fall. 8 years ago, Ariana Armstrong, now a senior at Lincoln Prep, was one of those very kids at Allen Village School, watching intently as the trio made their magic.
I just remember the feeling that I had when they talked, and it seemed like they were so into what they were doing. And we got to do dance classes with them, so that encouraged me to come take dance classes when I was like in the 4th grade.
Release, release, round the world, 6, 7.
So 2 times a week, Ariana heads over to the Ailey studio on East 18th Street for classes in modern dance.
5, 6.
When she heads off to college in the fall, Ariana knows she won't be pursuing dance as a career, but the gifts it's given her have been substantial.
Dance has always been something I look forward to because it's always been a positive way that I express myself. Because outside of dance, I'm really quiet and to myself.
1, 2.
When people find out I dance with Alvin Ailey, they're surprised because I'm a totally different person when I'm on stage than I am in my normal life.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's not about making dancers. If we make dancers, that's terrific. You know, some of our students have gone on to have professional careers, but it's really about helping our young people realize that they have access.
Alvin Ailey had another ambitious goal: to help young people mastering dance become what he called world citizens, better equipped to see themselves through a bigger lens. The annual Ailey Camp, originated here and now replicated in 11 other cities, also offers classes in music, creative writing, and visual arts, as well as one that many campers call their favorite, personal development.
We think that kids know a lot because there's so much access to information these days, and yes, they do know a lot, but a lot what they know is misinformation. So we touch on subjects like human sexuality, drug and alcohol abuse, suicide, and depression. We find that when they have good information, it empowers them to make better decisions. We've got to start out where kids are, and we might have to move slow, and we might have to take little tiny steps, but one day we hope those kids will take leaps.
Foot up and grand de jambe. Up, plie, sous, pas de cheval.
The Friends of Alvin Ailey at Paseo is yet another place where youth and movement intersect. New York-based Hassan Blandford is one of 4 teaching artists working with students at the Academy to create original pieces for a dance showcase at the end of the school year.
And 1.
It's so important for young people to see people that they can relate to doing things out in the world, because that really inspires them to do so themselves.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, saute.
Hundreds of school kids pouring in to see what for many will be their first live dance performance has been a familiar sight here for the last 30 years. And it will continue to be, according to Tyrone Aiken. But thanks to that challenge grant from the Muriel McBrien Kaufman Foundation, other efforts are underway to raise the organization's profile even when the company isn't in town. More symposiums, a new scholarship contest, and a sizable expansion of their annual block party in the Jazz District.
I think what we advertised in the first 30 years was really talking about the dance companies. And we're shifting some, so we're starting to talk more about ourselves. And that is important because we're wanting people to know that while the art is extremely important to our mission, there are these other areas that are as important. And through the new stuff that we're doing, we're wanting to showcase that. That's why you may see us in a community center, at a hospital, in a prison, as well as on the concert stage. Because it was always about reaching people where they were and trying to give them an experience that can be uplifting, if not transformative.